Hey everybody, welcome to the Gootz cast for the 16th of April. I'm Ray Gootz, I'm your host, and I'm back with Alison Klemp. Allison, what's up?
Hi. You know, not a lot.
Not a lot. What have
Same
you been doing?
apartment.
What have you been doing since for the last 2 weeks since we last spoke on this thing?
I wish I could say I've been cleaning my apartment more, but that's
I haven't cleaned either. I'm kidding.
not entirely true. I
Hmm.
feel like I haven't been doing much quarantine content, and it's partially because I don't want to have to clean my apartment in order to do it,
Okay.
you know? Um,
Well, your wall
uh,
looks very clean right now.
Thank you. Yes, this is my good wall
Okay.
with
It's a nice
my
picture.
I love this picture and I found it on the street and it's like the nicest. It's like my favorite thing I own.
Somebody was just like, "Fuck this," for the
I'm
street.
just a piece of trash.
Okay.
I identify with trash
Okay. Good.
is my whole thing. I don't know. I've been doing things. I've been working on the Bernie campaign's email desk, so I've been doing a lot of that.
Okay.
And cooking more
All right.
and playing a lot of Animal Crossing has
Oh,
been
how do you like that
good.
game? I know you just got a Switch. How do you like it?
I like it a lot. I
Pretty.
have so many games, and there's so many that I haven't even like gotten to yet.
Mhm.
But it's been a lot of fun. It has really helped me pass the time. I'll say that. So
Yeah, I gotta say, I think Nintendo might have created this virus because people, like when I was younger, people liked Animal Crossing, but like it was like kind of like a very small subset of video gamers, and
mhm.
now it just feels like everybody's playing it. It is like the number one game of all time now.
Well, it's such a good escapism,
Hmm.
and it's just like, oh, I can just go exist in this world where everything is nice and good. And there's like, to me, there's like something funny about it. It's like, okay, I can't leave the house, so I'm gonna spend all of my time like running simulated errands. Basically, it's like
Yeah,
what.
for animal people.
Yeah. But you
Yeah.
get to like, I mean, like I've gotten to like visit with some of my friends on there, so like that part's fun.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's right. You can go to people's islands. Yeah, I forgot
hmm
about that.
So that's
Okay.
cool. But yeah, so there's like that element of it.
Have you played
Um,
Trivial Pursuit? I know I saw you download.
yeah, we've played that a lot actually.
It's
You
good, right?
recommended that to me, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
I got confused as to who had recommended it to me, and so I thanked someone else, and they were like, "I didn't recommend that to you." But
Okay.
yeah, it's so fun. Me and Nate both love it. We've been like playing it at night, and it's been very fun. We've been watching a lot of Jeopardy on
Hmm.
Netflix and Hulu as well, so we like are
Don't
training.
get the Jeopardy game.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, but you know what you should get because it's on sale this week. I don't know what the price is because once you buy a game, they don't let you see the sales price. I guess because you'd be like, "What? I spent $20. Now it's
Mm.
$4." Wheel of Fortune is also good.
Ooh.
Wheel of Fortune's good to play on the Switch. Because see, Jeopardy's hard because unless you could talk into this system, they just give you multiple choice at that point, and then like it's not a very like dynamic game. At least Wheel of Fortune, you have the wheel. There's like it's really cool. It's fun to play. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
It's
Sweet.
definitely.
What have you been doing?
I've been watching Pretty Little Liars. I bought that show. Yeah, I know the look you gave me. I,
No,
I have.
I coughed into my hand. That's why I made that look.
Oh,
But
okay. I thought you were looking at me about Pretty Little Liars.
no, I was like, oh no, I did the thing that you're not supposed to do.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. It's okay. You're home.
I'm in my house.
It's not like you're out. You coughed in your hand. And you like rubbed it on a school child's head, and you're like, that's what you get. No, I have a lot of DVDs, and I bought Pretty Little Liars. See, once I buy like one DVD set of a TV series, I have to buy the rest.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought the
Because I know
first
what
season.
happens. They don't have that
Yeah,
streaming?
oh, I do have. No, it's not
Oh.
streaming. But
Oh.
I bought it before there was like big streaming things. I bought all 7 seasons.
Mm.
Oh, and they were on sale. And on Saturday, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm never gonna have a better time to watch this whole fucking thing. At least it has because I was gonna get into Ozark, and I'm like, well, Ozark's not finished. At least this dumb thing has an ending. Like I'm
Mhm.
gonna find out. You know the premise of that show?
No.
So these four high school girls, they have this really, I hate using this term, but skeevy. I'm gonna say skeevy instead of slutty. Skeevy friend who like is like really, and she dies. And a year later, they find her body, and then someone's stalking them. He's leaving them like messages all over like the
Ooh.
school, and they don't know who it is. But this guy's like really good. Like they order Chinese food, and he has like a threatening message in their fortune cookies. And they go to the bathroom, and the girl's washing her hands, and there's like, "I'm gonna kill you" on the paper towel. So
Mm.
it's like I'm trying to like who could this guy be? And now I'm just like, it has to be Batman because only Batman would be this good. But my only other plot hole is if you were this obsessed with like 4 women, why would you go to this all this trouble just to mildly annoy them? Like, why would you break into Chinese restaurants and break into school buildings and have cameras in their house? I think he has a camera in their house because he knows stuff that they're doing in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they'll be in the bathroom and he'll text them what they're doing. So would you do all this? Why would you not just kidnap them? Why would you just cut to the chase and like kidnap them?
Yeah, just rape them already. Like,
Yeah, exactly. All right. I don't mean it like that, but I'm just saying like you're
I
going
mean,
through
or kill. But I mean,
or try to get
that's the whole
money out of
thing,
them.
right? Like he killed their friend. That's the whole point, basically.
Well, now that he's framed, you're probably never gonna watch it, but I'm up to season 2. He framed a teacher for killing her,
Mm.
but they're thinking that he killed her. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know how they go 7 seasons with this.
It's like sexy mystery, like ABC Family.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And it's just like mind-numbingly. But the good thing is like, like did you try to watch Ozarks yet or no?
No.
It's very slow, Ozarks. Everybody says it's the greatest TV show, but it's like Jason Bateman slowly counting money
Mm.
for 20 minutes. And at least with this show, like the minute I'm kind of like annoyed with something, it cuts to one other thing.
Mm.
It's a very problematic thing about the show is one of the girls is sleeping with her teacher, and they present it as extremely normal, and they present it as anyone, and you can tell like this show was made 10 years ago. If they made it now, this wouldn't fly. And anyone who kind of is against it is a jerk.
Mm.
And I kind of feel like that's very problematic. I kind of feel like that sends the wrong message because they're trying to they're like they do a lot of like slow montages with these two
Yeah.
staring at each other, and like I don't know. It's the only thing I kind of excuse it is the age of consent in Pennsylvania, because where it takes place is 16. So that's the only way I can kind of excuse it as not being.
I mean, yeah, it's a bit of a stretch. I mean, it's still wrong because he's a student.
I know. So, but now he quit. So now all of a sudden they're like, it's not wrong anymore. That's what this show is telling us.
Yeah, I mean, like Friends,
still wrong.
but it's like it's funny because it's like there's so many shows that have that. Like Friends had that plot line,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
Like but it was a reverse gender, so people didn't take it as.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the way these TV shows have trivialized the teacher-student banging thing. I kind of feel like these teachers, when they're in court, be like, look, this Friends and Pretty Little Liars told me this was cool. I don't understand why I have to go to jail for 40 years. Like,
Right.
the way it's almost like you wouldn't trivialize, like, rape or murder like that. You know, you wouldn't romanticize that. And
Right.
it's basically statutory rape.
Well, it's also just like these, when these images and ideas are reinforced in the media, then that, like, even if you're not consciously thinking that, like, oh, that means it's okay, like it plants a seed in your head. And if like that stuff like subconsciously works into the system. So it's like a fucked up gray area things. It's like, I can understand how people, and in general with a lot of consent issues, it's like people just don't understand what the rules are because they've been told the things that are
they've been
wrong
beaten over their head on TV series.
with like wrong information or just like whatever they've heard on the street or whatever. And it's just like, but I mean, even like, Saved by the Bell had that plotline, but they were in college, so it's okay.
Oh, it's there. Yeah, no, I remember Zach stole her back from him. That's how the series ended, and then they went and got married.
I had such a crush on that professor.
But at least Zach said it's wrong. At least Zach was there, like, hey, this is wrong.
I thought I tried that in college. I minored in geology because I had a hot TA, and so I was like, well, I'll just do this for a minor. Yeah. And then the professor for one of my classes was like super hot, and I was like, oh, this is my moment, because I was a theater student, so like I never had the opportunity to like hook up with a teacher because they were all gay, you know. It was like or women, so or gay women, but so I was like, this is my moment, and I fucking tried. And then we like went on a field trip, and I like sat next to him like in the car and like all this stuff, and then I did the whole like went to his office thing, and I was just like, oh, I just don't know if is there anything I can do. And he like wasn't giving me like any green lights, and I was just like, I had to be like, is it worth like ruining everything and like making a move? And I was like, I don't think I can risk it. So
okay, well that's good. That's so funny. You kind of went in there like almost like a TV show plot line, and he wasn't reacting at all. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, he's probably autistic. He was a geology professor, so.
Oh, okay. He probably just now realized, like, I think that girl 10 years ago was trying to sleep with me. I don't know.
Yeah, or he's just like an honorable person who doesn't fuck his students.
Yeah, I know. I like that we think like, well, he must be mentally ill. Yeah, girl.
That's just my own ego.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but it's like, but I was like so young. It's like I mean, I was an adult, but it's like you're still basically retarded. You
Yeah,
know?
were you like 20 or something?
I think I was probably 21 at that point,
Okay.
but definitely still retarded. I was
Yeah.
also, I mean, I went to a state school, so I was drunk a lot of the time.
Oh, okay. That's
High and
true, yeah.
drunk for most of the time.
That's
Honor
true.
student.
I was saying to somebody the other day that these shows always obsess over high school, and they act like high school is like the best time of your life, but they kind of like they kind of just gloss over college. I was talking about that, how like they don't want to dwell on college, so it's
Mm.
like you go to high school and then you're old. Those are like the only two things they have on TV. You're in high school and then you're old and your life's over. Like there's no like middle ground where you're like you're still in, because you're still really a kid in college and a couple of years out after college, but they never want to.
Mhm.
They act like once you graduate college on television shows, like that's it, you're old, you should have kids, and your life's over. You didn't,
Yeah, it's like, do you ever like go back and watch a movie, like especially like some like older rom-coms and stuff, and it'll be like, I'm 23 and I'm a woman, and it's like, bitch, you're a child.
Yeah.
Like that's so crazy.
Or like I'm 29 and I'm not with anyone yet. It's like, all right, calm down.
My life is over. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also like I think just things have changed now. I think it used to be different, but
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
there's like not a lot of TV shows about college. There's Undeclared, which is really good and underrated. And then like high school shows that transit, like Gossip Girl. Did you watch Gossip Girl?
no, I never watched that. Does that go to college?
That goes to college, but I think it's hard because if when you start in high school, everyone's in one place, and then like realistically, everybody's not going to go to the same college.
But in New York City, like not a lot of people want to go away for college, so you can kind of do that with a show about teenagers in New York City. But I get like all these little towns, people do go away, so it is kind of hard to keep the characters there. But you could also I would just say like, hey, guess what? All the characters decide to get regular jobs in town, and they don't go to college. That's what I would do.
Yeah,
that does happen too. If I was writing one of these shows.
Yeah.
But even Saved by the Bell, they went to college. It got canceled after 1 year.
Yeah, the college was not great.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear about college. Speaking of not great things, let's talk about the first topic today I want to address with you. I saw a report that the mayor of LA said no live events, no concerts, no sporting events until 2021. And de Blasio said that's a possibility that he's probably going to say yes to, which leads me to think, and nobody wants to have this conversation, but I feel like we can have it, that there might not be any comedy until 2021 at the very least. Certainly, even if they do try to have comedy, it's going to eliminate Caroline's, Gotham, The Store, The Laugh Factory, because, I don't know if the city is going to trust them to keep it to, even though it would be more ideal to have a show at a place like Caroline's because you could space people out. So if the rule is only 20, 30 people could be at a show, it's much easier to space them out at a bigger venue than it is at your comedy club. But I don't know if they're going to be able to keep the lights on at these bigger venues if they can only get 20 people in a night.
Right.
What do you think? What do you think this means for stand-up? I mean, I think it means that's it for stand for LA. I mean, if the mayor's being this adamant.
I didn't see that thing from the mayor, but I will check it out. But I think I think it's like, especially like large events though, So I think, because it's like no one's going to go to a Madison Square Garden concert or like a fucking Nets game.
Yeah.
Like that's not going to be happening. That's too many people. But I think comedy clubs will end up being like more in line with like when restaurants and bars are allowed to open, because technically they are bars.
Okay.
And my guess, because I know that like when they are going to try to open things up like when they can, but they've been talking a lot about doing it like limited capacity, so probably like half capacity, right?
Yeah.
And then like enforcing the distance rules and stuff. So yeah, it's probably going to come down club to club. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point about the rents. I don't know how they're going to make.
Well, people were saying the small business loans, and I don't know if you saw the news report today, but they've already run out of money, and they didn't get to everybody. And I mean, I don't know, like if you're handing out small business loans, I would think that a hardware store in a town, I would give it to that guy sooner. I don't know. I would give it to more essential people sooner than the comedy club if I had to
Of
make
course.
these hard decisions.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there's also going to be more stimulus packages that are going to come
Hmm.
out, and they're going to try to like catch all the ones that they missed probably. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think 2021 is probably accurate for like most live events.
Yeah,
I'm sure once like anything is allowed, I'm sure like speakeasy shows are going to start popping up and stuff too.
that's true. I mean, technically, I could always do the holiday shows. I just have to be careful how many people I let in. I could always
Hmm.
do those, down the road. I wouldn't want to yet, but I mean, like, we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't want to. I'm kind of like, I don't know how you feel, but I've kind of like, I feel that like if your hope is I'm going to make money off stand up in 2020, you're going to be in for a long summer and fall because I think you need to, if stand up comes back, that's great. And if it feels safe to go do it, that's great. I'll go do it. But you can't right now think of it as a viable career or a viable future. I think if you do, you're going to be very depressed. I don't know. I mean, you're not going to be able to handle life.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you're not already making a pretty solid income off of stand up,
Hmm.
it's not going to start happening now, you
No.
know? Because
And there's
like,
no reason to move or to like relocate for it. I just think.
because any of this, like the first people, like it's obviously going to be like the big names and like, the
Mhm.
reputable people and stuff that are going to be coming back first. And so, like, it's just all going to be trickled down. So it's like our level and shit, it's like, why don't you go get yourself a job? Like, why don't you
Yeah.
go find a job? Because it's like just focus on writing is honestly like what
Hmm.
I'm trying to shift towards, and like, you know, work on your internet content or whatever. But like, don't, I think pinning any hopes on live stand up comedy in 2020 is just going to be setting yourself up for disappointment, you
Yeah.
know?
And making like some comics go, well, we have to have a herd immunity, or well, you can't just do that to people. And it's like, well, I mean, you don't want to do it to us because we would love to make money at comedy, but I mean, the general public is gonna be like, look, we're not gonna put people in danger because you want to host shows in your comedy club. I think the government's gonna be like, you just have to go find a different way to make money. If that's your way to make money.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but like at the same time, it doesn't suck because I do think this is gonna make the end. I think in 5 years we'll be sitting somewhere being like, you know what, that actually was really good for stand up and for the art of comedy. A little break we all had. I think.
I mean, I'm loving it,
Yeah, I
it's,
don't really mind it.
I'm fine. It's
Yeah.
like, I know
Yeah.
it's privileged to, be able to enjoy this, but
Well, that's why I enjoy it because it's like you've been to my place. I have so many movies and DVDs and video games. Why should I complain? Like when Ellen goes, I feel like a prisoner in my mansion. I just want to be like, you're a monster. Like you have anything. You can literally send out a messenger and get whatever you want.
hmm
This isn't real. There are people that are actually in prison getting corona. Like we should be enjoying our downtime right now,
yeah.
playing Animal Crossing and Wheel of Fortune.
And like, yeah, like we just made a huge like movie list um of like movies to watch, and it's like, for me, I feel like I'm always like running around and super busy and I never have time for shit. And now it's like, oh, okay, I actually have time to do the things I say I never have time to do, like
Yeah.
binge TV shows and like play
Yeah,
video games.
that's what I'm doing in Pretty Little Liars. Like, all right, I spent like at least like if every set was like $10 or $8, I spent at least $60-$70 on this.
Hmm.
I should watch it. And this
Yeah,
is the time. What else am I doing? Like I'll watch it. Maybe I'll get material out of it. I don't know.
right.
You know?
Got like all these books I've like meant to read. Like, I'll start reading some of those books, like,
Yeah.
and then I can get rid of them and like clear up space in my apartment.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That's awesome.
oh, just gotta
Yeah.
make the most of it.
Yeah, it's fucking fun. Hey, let's talk about this big topic today that I want to talk to you about. So last time we spoke, we were talking about like, oh, maybe Joe Biden will be the nominee. Who knows? And then now he is. So what are your thoughts first on what are your thoughts on how it went down with Bernie pulling out? and Biden becoming more or less becoming the nominees. We're not having a Democratic convention, so he's the fucking nominee. Unless I don't know. What do you think about that? Him being the nominee and Bernie pulling out when he did.
I mean, I love a man pulling out, always.
Okay.
Um, no, I mean, the Bernie thing was like inevitable, you know. I was
Mhm.
very heartbroken about it, and it kind of really fucked me up. Did I start drinking at noon? Yes.
Okay.
Was I kind of not in my best state for a couple days? Yeah. Um, but I mean, it was going to happen. Like, there's no way for him to campaign right now. And I think, and like, I can tell you that like the Bernie campaign was like straight up telling people, like, we don't feel, we're not going to tell you to vote, you know? And they
Yeah.
were like, you have to make that personal choice. Here are the risks. Here are the safety precautions. And like, it's like a hard thing because you don't want to be saying like go out and vote when it's like people could die. So
Mhm.
I think I think like when all this stuff with Wisconsin and like just all this polling sites closing down and like all of that shit, I think that he felt like the response that what he had to do was end it because otherwise people would just die.
Yeah.
Um, and you know that's the right move for humanity. Um, but I think it's going to be okay.
Do you think Joe Biden's gonna win?
Under normal circumstances, I would say no, but with the corona of it all, I think that he could. Um, because,
Here's
go
Oh, I'm
ahead.
sorry. Finish your point.
No,
Sorry.
I want your thing.
Okay, here's my thing that I'm worried about with him.
Yeah.
And there was something. So I really didn't really know much about Barack Obama. They just was like, this guy's running president. He's black, and I didn't know much about him. But there was like the summer, I think, of 2008. Something happened in some part of the country, and it was bad. And Barack Obama went on TV, or he went there, and he gave a speech. And the speech was like, "We're going to help out people. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I'm here to check on people." Da, da, da. And I was like, oh, this guy is already acting very presidential. He's already showing like, hey, I'm here because I care about whatever happened. I no, don't ask me where it was, but it was somewhere. And he had Michelle next to him, and he was already presenting himself as, I know I'm gonna fix this. Even though I'm not the president, I'm gonna try to fix this. And what worries me is that Joe Biden isn't out there really doing that. He isn't really putting himself out there. He isn't trying to be a leader. I think every day, if I was running for president, every day I would come up, I would post, and it's so easy now. I mean, back in '08, Barack had to travel somewhere and go on a podium and say, I'm gonna try to help out here. Nowadays, you can just grab your phone and be like, hey, I'm here at some hospital checking in on workers or what have you. And he's not doing that. And I feel like the more he stays out of our eye, and the more, because Trump is just on TV 24/7, the more people are just not going to consider him because he's not really. He should be getting his message out there every single day.
I agree.
Mhm.
And there was like a solid week where he just like wasn't anywhere. Like
Yeah.
he was like tweeting, but he wasn't like posting videos. He wasn't like doing anything that was like proof of life. And everybody
Yeah.
was like, where's Joe? You know? And everybody was like, he's sick. He's got the Rona, you know?
Hmm.
And, you know, he still could get it. And so it's like, that's why he can't really be out, you know? He can't
Hmm.
be going out and doing things. He has to stay inside if we gonna have him as our president. He can't get sick because that motherfucker's
Yeah.
old as shit,
Yeah.
you know? And same with Bernie, right? But like Bernie was doing like a lot of like live streams and like roundtable talks and stuff like that. But the I feel like Biden's putting himself out there more now. And what I'm hoping is that because Biden and Bernie do have a good relationship, and they're saying that they're going to be working together on these task force and like to basically push Biden more to the left and get his
Hmm.
platform at a place where Bernie supporters can feel okay about it. So if that actually like produces anything, you know, I'm hopeful for that. Um, and you know, I think that a really great, you know, whatever concession would be if there's like a strong cabinet position for Bernie,
Oh, he definitely has to be in the cabinet if
you
he
know,
wants to win. He doesn't have to
like
be the vice president, but a
no,
cabinet position.
I think vice president would be wasteful. I think health and human services would
Okay.
be the move, you
Hmm.
know, because like put Bernie in charge of our healthcare system.
Yeah.
We might get Medicare for all after all, you know? I think with Biden, it's really going to be about, because Biden is an empty vessel, you know? Biden is malleable, and he wants to win. Um, so I think for him, it's just going to be about really surrounding himself with a really good team, and that will give people confidence. So
Who do you think should be the vice president?
I think probably Stacey Abrams is the best move.
You don't think Elizabeth Warren?
No.
No, why not? I'm just curious.
It should be a black woman,
Okay.
and it should be someone younger.
Yeah, because if he croaks, then we're like, all right, at least we have a president.
Right. And like, I just think that an all white ticket in 2020 is like not wise. And I'm pretty sure that Biden has pledged to choose a black woman or like a woman of color. So I think picking, if he has said that and then he chooses a white woman, that's pretty fucked up. Also, Stacey Abrams is the best, because the other thing, vice president like doesn't do much, you know?
Yeah.
So like putting something super capable as vice president, even though it's like, yeah, he might die, but it's like, I don't like playing that as like a factor because I don't like betting on someone's death. And
Yeah.
and also personally, as like a feminist, I don't want the first female president to like come in on a technicality, you know? Like I want the first female president to like win an election, you know, ideally. So I don't want it to be like, that's how we'll get in. We'll sneak into the back door. Like,
yeah.
you know, not ideal. So, but I think Stacey Abrams is great because she's very popular. You know, she's very uniting. She's really smart. She would be great against Pence, you know, like in a debate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And she's just like, no.
I just feel like with what's going on, I just feel like if I was running for president, every day he should, because this is a very unique chance with the internet, with Zoom, with everything. You can campaign every day without leaving your bed, you know, like you, and I think he should be putting himself out there more. I think his cabinet should be putting him out there more. There's no excuse like, oh, we're all home alone, he's old. But I just think every day he should be out there, going against the president, fighting for human rights, maybe having people like if you can't go visit doctors and nurses, put them on your Zoom show or whatever. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. I don't know how you feel, but just because you can't travel, I think he should still put himself out there more.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think that there's a lot that he should be doing that he's not doing, but it's also like over 6 months until the election. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of time. And that's the other thing too, is that like for anybody who's saying now today that like they're not going to vote for Biden, whether it's because they support Trump or they just don't like Biden, you know, shit has changed a lot in 1 month. So who knows what we're going to be facing when we're coming up to the election. So it's like, I feel like a lot of people might change their minds.
Do you think, because we talked about this last time, the sexual assault allegations against Mr. Biden? I feel like I'm seeing it against Mr. Biden, against this dude. Do you think that the Republicans are going to try to really use that to hurt him because they've already proven that Alyssa Milano's a bit of a hypocrite and a little bit of a Looney Tune. But there's always been Looney Tunes on both sides. But do you think they're going to use this to hurt him? Do you think it can hurt him, or do you think he'll be able to skirt by this?
Skirt by this.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, oh. Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna. I mean, I wish it did, but I don't think it's gonna hurt him. I mean, we have the pussy grabber in chief already, so
that's true.
And the Democrats kicked out Al Franken, but that was easier because Al Franken is kind of like newer kid on the block. Joe Biden is like everybody; they all love him. Even if everything's true, like I just don't think that it would be enough to take him down. You know, I mean, Bill Clinton is also still very beloved, and he is also an alleged rapist.
I think he's probably done worse than Joe Biden.
Probably, yeah, but we don't know, you know, so it's just like, and it's like he hasn't been canceled by the Democratic Party by a long shot. So it's an unfortunate circumstance, but it is the world we live in. And so there's still a lot of work to do in that realm. But I think it's an important conversation, and AOC spoke out about it the other day, which I really appreciate, and said that like it should be investigated by the party. So
yeah, it should. I mean the move. I think the move, and he said he wouldn't want to do it, but I think this is the move. Is if you investigate Biden, find more things going on, get rid of him and put Cuomo in that position. But I don't know if he would do it, Cuomo. And that would be a very, but I mean, this is my thing. This is my thing. Like people are like, well, you can't do that because of politics. Like there's like rules in politics that they follow, like it's a game of Risk or something.
Hmm.
But I just feel like, okay, in this position, people are dying, more people are going to die, and not only are going to die, but you're going to have a president that's going to go on TV and be like, oh, those deaths didn't really happen, or it's not really that big of a deal, or you have people on Fox News. I don't know if you saw the clip with Dr. Oz being like, if we just restart the schools, we're only going to lose 1%, and that
Hmm.
would mean about 1 million children would die, and they're basically being like, that's fine. These are the people you have in power, and you kind of got to go after rules of engagement. Cuomo could beat him, Biden can't, or Cuomo didn't touch anybody, Biden did, and we just got to get somebody in there that can just wipe Trump out. And I still feel like politicians, both sides, are still playing these dopey little games, and they didn't learn the lesson that the reason why Trump won in 2016 because he didn't play by these polite rules. He kind of just said whatever he wanted, he did whatever he wanted, and he got away with it. And that's why, all our families are dead right now. So, you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think it's also, it troubles me because I do see a lot of like unfortunate similarities to 2016. Like I think
yeah,
the whole playbook of like running against Trump is like not the move, and it seems like that's where they're going with again this time. And it's like, haven't we already learned we have to? People want to vote for something. They don't just want to vote against something. So you also have to like connect with people that like
yeah.
this is why you should vote for us and not just because Trump sucks. Because the thing about Trump is that he dictates the conversation and we just let
Hmm.
him, like the Democratic Party is just a bunch of subs like asking to get their neck stepped on. And it's just frustrating
That's
because
100% true.
like
Yeah,
just change the conversation, like everybody keeps like trying to play by Trump's rules and they don't understand that they're letting him win when they do that.
yeah, and this is when I knew Trump had the election won. I don't know. Did you think Hillary was going to win election night, or were you like, I think Trump's going to win?
Oh no, I fully thought she was going to win.
Okay.
And I was like, I remember when I was doing the Race Wars podcast and Kurt and Sherrod were like, he's going to win. He's going to win. And I was like, no, there's no way. And they were like, Allison, we have been on the road. We've
Hmm.
been to like all parts of America. We've been talking to these people. Trump is going to win. And I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
And
This,
I worked the election. I was a poll worker
oh wow.
and I was stationed in Williamsburg. So of course it was like everybody was
So you're
like
like, oh, she's got it in the bag.
that
Yeah.
precinct was like 98% Hillary.
Hmm.
And it was like all these women in pantsuits like coming in with their daughters, like, I brought my daughter to vote for the first female president. And I'm like, you go sit there. And like everybody was just like, Hillary is like so excited. And you can't like look at your phone or like leave, so I was just like in this bubble,
In this Hillary bubble, yeah.
in this Hillary bubble from like 5 a.m. until like 10 p.m., like the whole
Hmm.
time. And I get out around 10 and I go to a bar and we're like a bunch of Michigan people were at this bar. And like 10 minutes after I get there, Michigan goes red. And it was just like, oh no, like this is not the world I thought I was
Yeah.
coming back into.
I'll tell you the moment I realized he was going to win. I don't know if there was a problem with there was controversy with Amy Schumer because she was doing a lot of Trump material and people were storming out of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And she did a show in New York, and somebody heckled her and said, "I want my money back." And she goes, "Oh, I just want to say, I know people are mad that I'm doing a lot of Trump material. I'm sorry. I want to apologize. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're so stupid that you've been taken in by him, that you're gullible, that you're this." And I'm like, the message a lot of liberal celebrities gave was that you're an idiot for believing Trump, or if you like Trump, you're this. When they were making Ghostbusters, Dan Aykroyd said something. People don't want to see the new Ghostbusters, the one with Kate McKinnon.
Mm-hmm.
They must be like basement dwelling idiots who want to vote for Trump. They
Mm-hmm.
want to. The American people don't like being told they're stupid or they're dumb. If you tell American people en masse, if you do this, you're a jerk. You know what they're going to do? They're all going to do that. And I think if they go down that road, but they're like, if you vote for Trump, you hate women, you hate black people, and you probably do, but you can't say that. You've got to be like, you should vote for me because of what I can give you or
Right.
because of what I can help you with. You can't. And when Amy Schumer did that, I think a lot of people that voted for Trump that first time did it because they thought like the rich, these rich liberals think I'm an idiot. They think I'm stupid. They think I'm a jerk. They don't value my beliefs or my church, and I'm voting for Trump as a fuck you to people who tell me I'm stupid because I'm not stupid, and now their whole family's dead. But that's my whole point. I
No,
knew
I
he was going
think
to win when Schumer did that.
yeah, I think that's spot on, and I think that troubles me too because I feel like a lot of that kind of
It's
arrogant
happening again.
attitude,
Yeah.
and it's like, and it's happening on the left. Like they're not even talking about like Trump voters are terrible. They're like, if you are even hesitant about voting for Joe Biden, then you love Trump, and it's like, no. And even if someone like loves Trump,
Mhm.
like, or they hate Biden or whatever it is, and I feel like I'm gonna go blue in the face saying this, but like you can't just tell them you have to vote for this person because I told you to, and if you don't, that you're stupid. Because all those things you just said. But you have to understand, like, there's always a reason, and it might not make sense to you, but
Mhm.
everybody has a reason, and you just have to try to connect with these people and find out why it is that they feel the way that they feel,
Yeah.
because you're never going to be able to get through to them unless you can find some kind of connection. Like the crazy emails that I get when I'm working on this email desk, it's like a lot of the things we're like not even allowed to like respond to because they're very like, you know, but we read everything.
Yeah.
And it's been so insightful because like just so many different things that people are like coming at it from, and like they just really feel like a lot of people feel very betrayed. Like a lot of people are very angry at Bernie, and they feel like Bernie betrayed them.
But I
And
see. I don't think he did. I think he
no,
realized that like if he keeps this going, it's going to um, further divide the party. They need to unite now if they're going to get rid of Trump. They
of
have to get
course.
rid of Trump because people are dying.
Yeah. And then the
Yeah.
people who write in, and like, I'm sure a lot of people like write in emails just because they're like super pissed and they're just like venting
Hmm.
basically. And it's like, they probably think, a lot of people think no one ever reads this stuff. So it's like, they're just spouting
Yeah.
off. But I lost my train of thought.
Reading emails about Bernie and people. Well, you have to convince people on who to vote for. You have to
Oh yeah,
give them a reason.
they
Yeah.
feel betrayed, and they feel. But oh, I got it. They're very like they're looking at like the small picture, and they're very narrow focused, and they're only thinking about the presidency. But like Bernie is looking at the big picture, and I think that if you look at the big picture, you can see that like they're for Bernie, like this is such a different race in 2016, and for Bernie to stay in and like be continuing this fight while this
Mhm.
coronavirus is happening. And Bernie's like he legit cares about people. And
Yeah.
he's like, I need to do what I can to help people right now. And so he's like, I have to be focused on
You have
being
to
in
be
the
out of the
Senate,
election. Yeah.
and I have to be doing my job in the Senate and making sure that I'm helping people. And working on the email desk, like it's like it's been so great because people will write in and be like, I've lost my job, like this is happening, this like they share with you all of the things that they're struggling with, and we
Mhm.
have all these resources to send them to be like, here, go to this thing, and like to try to like help put them in the right direction. And it makes me feel like, you know I hope I'm really doing something to like help these people. And I don't know how many other politicians are doing stuff like that, but I feel like probably not that many.
I don't think that
And
many. Yeah.
he's just like he's a real G, and he really does care about people. And unfortunately, that's why he's never going to be president, because he's not going to play like the dirty tricks that a lot of other politicians are going to play.
Yeah, he's almost the opposite direction of Trump. He doesn't march to the beat of the drum, but he does it in a way because he wants to help people. Trump just wants to help himself,
Hmm.
which is why he doesn't march which is why he just is like a bull in a China store. And then I still can't believe all these people are so overwhelmed by him. I've seen people like him a million times in comedy. I don't mean to sound arrogant, but if I was a senator or if I was like running against him, I would know how to handle him. I would just, it's like, you can't handle him like another politician. There's no more rules of decor or rules of engagement. You kind of just have to, it's a street fight, with him.
That's why I do kind of like the idea of Cuomo taking
Yeah.
over for Biden, just because it's like two old school New York dudes like taking it
Yeah.
back to the like
Because
streets.
Cuomo will probably, if there's a debate, and I'll tell you when I thought, this is the other thing I realized when I think Hillary should have done. And I think it's so ingrained in her not to do something like this. But when he was right behind her and he goes, because you'll be in jail. And I wish he had said, if you interrupt me again, I'm going to knock you the fuck out. I don't give a fuck that we're running for president and I'm a woman, you're a man. But you're not going to do that to me again. I think she would have won a
Yeah.
landslide, because he would have
Yeah.
not known what to do, because people don't talk to him like that. But
Mhm.
like when you have the country at stake, you kind of got to talk to a guy like that. Like, hey, I know we're running, like if he disrespected me like that, I go like, look, I know we're running for president. I'm supposed to do this, but if you do that again, we're gonna have a fucking problem. I don't care. You
Yeah,
know?
she was very much like teacher's pet energy, and he was very much class clown energy,
Yes, and
you
that always
know?
wins. Yeah, yeah.
And she's following all the rules, but he's like winning everyone over,
Yeah, because he probably didn't even pay attention when they told him the rules of the debate and stuff. Like,
Right, of course not.
I've
And
never
like,
seen a presidential debate with moderators like yelling like it's a school cafeteria. Please calm down. Like, just, you know what I mean? And
mhm.
that's what those debates were. And
But if
Cuomo will just smack them. Yeah.
oh yeah, Cuomo won't put up with any of that shit. And Cuomo, like, it's like if it's gonna be a centrist, like establishment Democrat, you know, Cuomo doesn't have any allegations that I know of.
Hmm.
And not for nothing, I would love to hear that accent in the White House, you know?
Yeah.
Like these press briefings are so entertaining, you know?
Yeah.
And also I feel like he really does care.
Yeah. I think
And
he does
that's
care. Yeah.
and I don't know how much Joe Biden really cares, you know? Like
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
when Cuomo says that like he wakes up every day and he thinks about what the death number is going to be and it's the last thing he thinks about before he goes to bed at night, like I believe him.
Yeah.
You know, I believe that he's really like invested in this and he's like really like doing everything that he can. It's I mean like obviously he could be doing more, but it's like it's a lot, right? And he's like has very good communication. Like he's very clear and he's very blunt and direct about what he's talking about. And Biden is always just like trailing off and just like finishing his sentence in the middle. And it's like, well, I do that, but I'm high and I'm not running for president, you know?
Yeah. I get the sense that, and I look back and I'm like, why did Obama pick Biden? And I'm like, he probably just really liked hanging out with him. He probably was like, I just want someone to hang out with.
Well, yeah. And also, Biden is kind of conservative. You know,
Yeah.
he's a kind of conservative Democrat. And
He
Biden
was
was like,
he was a safe bet because he was running. I mean, because his
he was the
country.
insurance. Biden was the insurance to get
Mhm.
white people to feel comfortable
Yeah.
voting for the black president.
Yeah. And it worked.
Hmm.
It worked because he did it. Shit. I had something I wanted to say to you. Fuck. I'm sorry. I'm a bad host.
No,
I had a question or something.
you've been
Shit.
talking a lot.
Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. I'll just say this. I'll say, like, the thing I think a lot of people forget, and I think the thing is that, you can't treat the presidential race is not the Yankees versus the Mets. And I think sometimes the candidates treat it like that too. I think if you're gonna win over people, this is a really cool story. I don't think I've ever told you, but my mom in the '60s, she was member of the Young Republicans Club.
Mm.
And my mom's best friend is still alive. She's like my aunt. They worked together, and at work, the aunt, my aunt was like to my mom, like, oh, you should vote for John F. Kennedy. Absolutely not. I'm gonna vote for Nixon. I don't trust those Kennedys. I don't like that guy. He's this, that, and the third. All this shit. And the train got stalled in Flushing, and she had to walk home. And there was a rally for Kennedy. And I guess in those days, you could just wander into a presidential rally in New York, and he was talking. And she stood there and listened to him talk. And when she got home, she called up my aunt, and she was like, I've never seen such an amazing talker in my life. He's going to change the country. I can't believe I fought with you on this. And the next day she registered for the Young Democrats Club because they had that back then. And she voted for Kennedy, and he won that election. And she just was like, he's the greatest man I've ever seen. Like, he was just so compelling with his speech. And I think the reason why Kennedy compelled her is because I think he gave this attitude to people. Like, I'm here to help you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to make your life better. He wasn't like shitting on Nixon or if you like Nixon, you're an idiot. If my mom walked in and he said, if you like Nixon, you're an idiot, she would have been like, fuck you. And she would have she would have waited in line to vote for Nixon 4 months later.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what the next president kind of has to do. Like, I'm here to help you. I don't want your fucking grandma to die. That's why you should make me president.
Right.
Yeah.
Keep your grandma alive 2020, you
There
know?
you go. That's all. That's really, like, if I'm in a debate, I'm like, look, I don't want your fucking grandma to die. Him and Sean Hannity do. Vote for me so your grandma like dies of something else besides corona. Thank you.
Right. Yeah.
That's that simple. Like, I don't know.
No, I think that's absolutely right. It also helped that Kennedy was hot, probably.
Yes, but yes, that also he probably was hot in real life too. So, black and white. I only see Kennedy in black and white. Like if I picture in my head, it's like this black and
Yeah.
white creature walking around. So I'm sure that's how people were back in those days. So when you saw somebody in real life, like, oh my God, he's hot, he's in color. This
Right.
is
But I mean,
amazing.
he is very like charismatic
He
and
was.
all
He
those
was
things you
very.
talk about. And like, I mean, like, I don't think Bill Clinton's like hot, but when I was in college, I saw him speak at a rally for like other candidates who were running.
Mhm.
And it was like, I was in a huge park, you know, and I'm like way in the back. I'm super far away from the dude, but he's old, obviously.
Mhm.
But he was giving this speech and I was just like, so like, whoa, like I was like moved and I like felt it. And then I was like, oh, I understand why he has like all these affairs because like I would fuck him from back here, you know?
Yeah.
And like there's just like something about that charisma that like some people have that you can't teach. And it's
No.
like Kennedy had that, Clinton had that, but it's like if you can like make someone feel something from like 1,000 feet away, then like that is what moves people, you
Yeah.
know? And like that's what gets people to vote.
Yeah. It's
It's
not
not just
berating them. You can't berate
great.
people into getting your way.
I mean, maybe it's for the best that Biden can't like go out into the public right now because when he does like go to these events and then people anytime anybody like is a little bit like critical of him in a question, he gets like when he like fires back at these
Oh, I
voters,
saw that. You're wrong. I saw that. Didn't he like yell
go
like you're
vote for
wrong?
and he's like he on multiple occasions will tell people to vote for someone else. He's like, well, you should vote for someone else. Well, I guess I'm not your candidate then. And it's like, don't tell people that.
Stop telling people that.
Stop
This
telling
is.
people not to vote for you. The whole point is that you're supposed to tell people to vote for you. Like,
Oh man, poor Joe Biden.
I know he's not good at winning elections. Is the problem.
Yeah, I know. Well, he maybe he needs Charlie Sheen because that guy's good at winning. I completely forgot he said that. I was
Oh my
reminded the
god.
other day. But Allison, what are your plans for this week? You're gonna play some more Animal Crossing and cry?
I'm gonna play some more Animal Crossing. I'm gonna try not to cry.
Okay.
I'm gonna probably watch some movies, and I want to. I don't know. I gotta. I'm gonna start crocheting. I think I need to get some yarn. I don't know. I need a project.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. All right. Well, thank you so much. Tomorrow I'm gonna have Andrew Lee. We're gonna talk about WWE. I don't know if you saw this, but Trump put Vince McMahon in charge of the panel to restart the economy on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, Vince McMahon fired hundreds of his employees. So clearly, that's a guy who can be. This is the wildest week in wrestling history. Because I'll tell you this much: they were trying to shut down the wrestling events that are still happening. The Florida governor made it essential. Wrestlers are essential workers, so they can keep wrestling. Then came out that Linda McMahon has a super PAC in Florida that gave $12 million to Donald Trump for the reelection campaign. Then on Tuesday, Donald Trump announces that Vince McMahon is a part of the panel to restart the economy. Then on Wednesday, Vince McMahon fires hundreds of employees of his company. Like, if you cannot see the corruption in that, you're out of your fucking mind.
That's insane,
But
and
Bill
also
Gates is trying to kill us,
not
not these people.
surprising at all.
Yeah, it's just a
Yeah.
wild week. That's what I want to ask you.
Mm.
Here's the thing. I think it's insane to me that there's still people in New York City or even Long Island that think this is fake and also are like Bill Gates is up to no good, but Donald Trump is on the level. Do you believe anything that Bill Gates is trying to kill us with his vaccine? Do you believe that for a
No,
second? Okay,
no,
good.
no, no, no. I mean, Bill Gates is no angel, but on this I have no issue with him.
It's just weird to me that like people that they're willing to trust Dr. Oz and Trump who are like, yeah, a couple of million dead. Who cares? And Bill
Dr.
Gates
Oz
is like,
isn't even a real doctor.
I know.
Also, don't you think it's kind of okay? So Dr.
What?
Oz is a quack.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Phil is a quack,
Yeah.
right?
Oprah, right?
Oprah.
Yeah.
What's going on with Oprah?
A lot of weird shit's going on. I don't never trusted Oprah. I agree with people that are like, we don't trust Oprah. Like I think Snoop Dogg made a video about that and stuff. I don't trust Oprah. I don't trust her. I don't trust her. I trust Michael Jackson before I trust Oprah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you're
think.
not his type.
Well, yeah, I know. I know. Well, you know what? I want to fuck them as a kid, so I'll tell you that much. I would have been like, look, I'm here for the games, but not those type of games. All right? I definitely would have went over there. I would have been like, where is the Super Nintendo? I need to see this. And I would have like listened to him tell stories, but I wouldn't. You know. I think
You'd
he
be like,
like.
oh, I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm tired. Look, all I'll say is this: but he didn't bang Macaulay Culkin, and I'm just like, I'm not trying to be a pervert, and I'm not gay, But I'm just like, all right, if you're gonna like, I have to have sex with a kid in 1990, I would think Macaulay Culkin would be the first round draft pick.
No, you get a kid that no one knows who looks like Macaulay Culkin. Because by not fucking Macaulay Culkin, then you have Macaulay Culkin, this very famous
Okay.
person, going out there and saying, Michael Jackson never did anything to
Okay.
me. We just had a normal, innocent time. And then everybody believes Macaulay Culkin, and then they don't believe these
Okay. All
nobody
right, but you know
kids.
what? That's a good point.
That's
I didn't think about that because I would just be such a I would just be because I'm always like I gotta go for the hottest chick. So I'd just be such a I'd just like, well, the hottest chick is right here. So if I'm gonna go to jail, it's gotta be the hottest chick. So that's how I would think, like an idiot. But you're right. You get the third hottest chick when in his situation, third hottest boy. But I
mhm.
think that Oprah has like I think I would I think this is how low I think of Oprah. I think Oprah has a time machine and she went back in time and created slavery. I think she has something insanely evil going on. I don't trust Oprah at all. I think Oprah created Corona. That's the end of the podcast. All right, tomorrow, Andrew Lee, Allison, thank you so much for coming on. You want to
Thank
come on in
you.
the next couple of weeks to talk more about the death of our world?
Sure. Happy to
Okay, cool.
document it. Yeah.
Yeah, all right, guys, thank you so much for listening. And that's this podcast. Thank you.